the best thing for people in Hollywood that are entrenched in that world is to up, because as soon as they start talking, people like as soon as Robert De Niro starts talking, I'm like, Jesus, get that microphone away from him so I can enjoy Taxi Driver.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It's so stupid. It was colossally stupid. If you're going to send somebody to go speak outside of the Trump trial, make it someone who's universally beloved, like a Michelle Obama. You know, she's not universally loved. She's not loved on the right. But I'm saying, like, at least within the left and the center left, and maybe even some center righties. Robert De Niro has gone so hard partisan over the past 8 years. He is like example number 1 of Trump derangement syndrome.
What happens when you put a UFC commentator, a sharp-talking journalist, and a grumpy Hollywood veteran in the same conversation? Pure chaos. Joe Rogan came with the punches, Megyn Kelly came with the receipts, and Robert De Niro? He was left trying to keep up. If you thought Taxi Driver was intense, just wait for this roast. This isn't a movie scene, it's a full-on verbal demolition. So grab your popcorn, because we're breaking down the ego, the meltdown, and one seriously brutal takedown.
The people that are doing it right now about Biden telling you how you should vote, even though you know he's impaired, you definitely shouldn't vote for Trump.
He has no understanding that I can see of the outside world other than anything around him. He has no idea of what his purpose in life is, as the president should be, and that is to pull the country together, to be for the people, to heal wounds, not to open them up and pour salt on them.
Don't tell people that, you idiot, because it's going to make more people angry and want to vote for Trump. You are not going to convince anyone walking down the west side of New York City talking into your phone about what a Trump is to democracy. You aren't changing anybody's vote. You're just being a condescending, scolding, liberal which is what drives everyone crazy.
Oh, Robert De Niro, the legend, the icon, the guy whose angry stare once scared an entire generation. But these days, his political rants seem to be getting more attention than his movie roles. The man who once ruled Hollywood now finds himself at the center of some pretty awkward moments. It's almost like watching Vito Corleone trade the suit and a cigar for a bathrobe, Crocs, and a wild rant about conspiracy theories on the subway. From feared movie gangster to headline-making political commentator, De Niro's transformation is definitely something to watch.
Winner number 2 of the sanctimonious leftists pretending they are better than you award, Robert De Niro. Congratulations, sir. Another Oscar for the iconic actor who, now 80, appeared on Bill Maher over the weekend and had some choice words about Donald Trump.
The guy is a total and anybody, I don't understand it. I guess they get behind that kind of logic. They want to people screw them because they're unhappy about something. I never play him as an actor.
Then there's Joe Rogan, sitting behind the mic and watching the whole thing unfold like he can't believe what he's hearing. The guy who once seemed untouchable on screen now appears more focused on political rants than anything else. Rogan's reaction almost feels like, wait, did he really just say that? And that's what makes the moment so funny. You have one of Hollywood's biggest legends going off, while Rogan sits there trying to make sense of it all. All right, Bobby, keep going. We're listening.
Robert De Niro, there's something about being a star where you think your opinion's more important than anybody else's, and you can go give a press conference, and he obviously has been very vocal from 2016 that he hates Trump for whatever reason. Maybe they have some personal thing.
You think Trump ever threw a punch himself or took one? This guy who ran and hid in the White House bunker when there were protesters outside? No way.
Now he's like holding press conferences. Now everyone's heckling him everywhere he goes.
That's so bad.
Like instead of just being this cranky old liberal, now you're this guy that is yelling at other people that are Trump supporters, and they're yelling at you. Like you've opened yourself up to this nonsense. Like, why?
To be gentlemen in this world, the Democrats, you are.
And then there's Megyn Kelly, who doesn't even try to hide her reaction. She's basically a walking reality check with an extra shot of espresso. Watching her listen to De Niro talk politics feels like watching a judge sit through the world's most ridiculous courtroom argument. One raised eyebrow says more than a whole speech ever could. De Niro may have brought plenty of confidence to the conversation, but against Kelly's sharp questions and quick reactions, it feels like he showed up to a fencing match carrying a pool noodle.
And he's never going to leave the White House if he wins. We're going to have Trump forevermore. I mean, hello, I hate to break it to you because I realize you're advanced age too, Robert, but people die. So he will leave. One way or the other, he's going to go.
I never play him as an actor because I can't see any good in him. Nothing at all. Nothing redeemable in him.
Wouldn't ever play someone that despicable. And who could blame him? That could be tough for an actor to play such a hateful man. Someone like, I don't know, like Bernie Madoff, say. A guy who stole $65 billion from nuns and Holocaust survivors like Elie Wiesel and was sentenced to 150 years in prison. Who would play him?
De Niro thinks he's still starring in Taxi Driver, but these days, it feels like he's driving public patience straight into a wall. He's gone full method actor. Method for what? The role of the angry uncle? Nobody wants at Thanksgiving. The guy has almost as much rage as he has movie credits. And yes, that includes Dirty Grandpa. Let's be honest. He peaked at, "Are you talking to me?" Now it feels more like, "Why isn't everyone listening to me?" His political rants can sound like someone skimmed a Wikipedia page on democracy and forgot half of it. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan sits back, watching the chaos unfold with that calm, confused look that says, "What am I listening to?"
I want to hear him that he's a moron. I don't want to hear him talking about politics and about Trump supporters and just up, man.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't think this through. Like, this is, and he's getting yelled at. He's doing an outside press conference. Like, Robert, you're 80 years old. Don't ruin this thing. You've had this life where you were a raging bull. You know, you were you were in The Godfather. Like, stop doing this.
Man.
Don't do this.
I'm terrified to meet some of those people I looked up to now.
You should be.
I mean, like,
I've met a few of them, and it's actors in particular.
You can almost picture Rogan trying to connect the dots. De Niro, the man who starred in The Godfather Part 2, now sometimes sounds online like a teenager posting angry takes with no filter. It's like watching a Rolls Royce slowly drive into a ditch while Celine Dion. And Megyn Kelly isn't far behind. She has that signature smirk that seems to say, "Give me 5 minutes and I'll find the problem." The irony is hard to miss. De Niro built his career playing tough, street-smart characters, mob bosses, taxi drivers, and working-class guys who solve problems with a stare, a cigar, or a one-liner. Now, the biggest drama isn't happening on a movie set. It's happening whenever he grabs a microphone and starts talking politics.
He's a serious journalist, right? And he, quote, tweets the press release and he says, "One of the speakers will be Robert De Niro." My hand to God, my first thought was, good for Phil. This is funny. This is a good, funny joke. It's nice to see Phil let his hair down. And then I was like, wait a minute. Phil wouldn't make this joke in this situation. And I still couldn't believe it was real. I am absolutely flummoxed. That is the dumbest move that I've ever seen a presidential campaign make in my entire life.
These days, De Niro is about as blue collar as a private jet with a platinum hot tub. Yet somehow he's still preaching about the struggles of the working man. Enter Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly, the strangest buddy cop duo imaginable. Rogan brings the calm analysis, while Kelly tears through the logic like an IKEA shelf missing half the instructions. Meanwhile, De Niro still talks like he's leading a revolution, barking into microphones as if he's delivering a State of the Union from the back of a limo. The problem? Beneath all that anger, the argument often feels about as steady as a pigeon on roller skates.
Yes, hypocrisy is alive and well amongst these sanctimonious leftists. From Kimmel to De Niro to Stephanopoulos, they want you to believe they're better than you, more virtuous, more decent. But we all know the truth. They lie. They sin. They do the very things they accuse you of and the things that they say they would never do. Evil things. Like try to destroy people based on feigned outrage from which they spare their own side. Or playing politics with a woman's rape.
He rants, he raves, and he waves his arms like someone who just lost an argument with his espresso machine. Meanwhile, Rogan or Megyn Kelly sit back and watch the chaos unfold while De Niro practically melts in 4K. This isn't a roast. It's a full-on cremation. Remember when actors just acted? Now we're getting political lectures from Hollywood legends who seem permanently stuck in outrage mode. Rogan watches it all like someone shouting fire during a Zoom meeting. Confusing, loud, and not exactly helpful. And Kelly? Every time De Niro launches into another speech, you can almost see her fighting back with an eye roll. When even the usually composed Kelly starts laughing, you know the moment has officially gone off the rails.
Why is he talking about this? Why is he talking about this publicly?
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
If you're going to come out and say that you have a really deep-seated hatred for one of the two people running for president, you can't just be, he's a bully, he's a piece of shit, I hate him.
He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has.
You probably, if you're going to express yourself about it and alienate 50% of the country, which it seems like it is, you're going to have to do better than that.
De Niro still seems convinced he's the voice of the people, but somewhere along the way, the audience stopped buying it. Now he pops up on late night shows looking like he walked off a movie set and forgot where the script ends and the news begins. It's like watching someone direct traffic using interpretive dance. Rogan jokes that he wouldn't be surprised if De Niro suddenly started quoting Raging Bull during a tax policy debate. Honestly, at this point, anything feels possible. He went from you talking to me to you disagree with me, you're the enemy. And that's where Megyn Kelly comes in. She doesn't just criticize him, she breaks down his arguments piece by piece like a science experiment gone completely off the rails.
So Robert De Niro, who's got a severe case of the TDS, is in conference right now, as all of the muckety-mucks are. And he's very unhappy about what Trump is doing to try to keep filmmaking, American filmmaking, in America by slapping tariffs on foreign-made films so that he can basically try to force people to make them domestically again for the American audience that they're meant to serve. And here's what De Niro said on Tuesday.
America's 15th president has had himself appointed one of our premier cultural institutions. He has cut funding and support to the arts.
By now, De Niro's activism feels like someone who discovered politics while waiting at the dermatologist. There's plenty of passion, but not much precision. He's basically turned louder into a substitute for right. The more he raises his voice, the more confusing the argument becomes. You can almost imagine Rogan saying, "Dude, just make another mob movie. Nobody asked you to fix the economy." But De Niro seems convinced he's democracy's last great warrior, a modern-day Paul Revere, except he's arriving in a limo instead of on horseback, and yelling about tyranny between celebrity events. Maybe it's another method-acting performance. If so, Robert, congratulations. You're definitely committed to the role.
You've been talking to De Niro again.
I don't even listen. When De Niro starts talking about Trump, I love him too much. I think he and Trump hate each other personally. All I should be asking Robert De Niro about is two things: awesome movies and divorce. Yes. Tell me what happened to you.
I would love to ask him about that.
With the divorce, tell me what happened if you want to talk about it, and tell me what happened to you with these awesome fucking movies. I don't need to know jack about his politics. Why is he talking about this publicly?
Meanwhile, Rogan's fans are watching De Niro's rants like some bizarre off-Broadway experiment. At one point, Rogan just pauses and squints at the screen, almost wondering if De Niro has lost the plot or discovered a brand new career in avant-garde street theater. The whole thing has big Andy Kaufman meets confused grandpa energy. Is it performance art or just the loudest midlife crisis ever broadcast? And don't get Megyn Kelly started. She's heard enough of De Niro's rants to teach a whole class called From Raging Bull to Raging Boomer, a case study in career self-sabotage. At this point, her notes alone could fill a psychological thriller. Whatever De Niro is running on, ego, outrage, or too much espresso, it's certainly making for entertaining television.
De Niro doesn't want to play someone truly evil, you see. At least not a certain someone. Maybe Jimmy was a Democrat. By the way, De Niro is also very upset that Donald Trump is an alleged racist. Wonder if he pulled Jimmy Kimmel aside last night and asked him to atone for his blackface-loving past.
De Niro swings his celebrity status around like Excalibur, but it lands more like a pool noodle at a Mensa meeting. Every political truth bomb feels like a deflated whoopee cushion. Listening to him explain complex issues is like watching someone solve a Rubik's Cube with oven mitts on. You almost feel bad for Scorsese. Somewhere, Marty is probably thinking, I made movie history with this guy, and now he's ranting on cable news. At this point, maybe swap De Niro's microphone for a Sudoku book, some chamomile tea, and a well-deserved internet break.
To the people shouting him down like, your movies suck, that's not true.
No, his movies are very
suck. He's one of the greatest actors. I mean, he's the heir apparent to Brando, blah, blah, blah. But he's a loon.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to just say what he is. He's, he has, basically, I describe this to people. You know what's happening now? Because people are aware about concussions and the problems with
CTE.
CTE. When you get hit and you get a dinger in football, they put you in the blue tent. and the sideline.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen to Democrats. They need to go in the blue tent for a little bit, kind of, get your eyes checked, and then come out and be rational again.
Yeah, cool off
and
a
De
little.
Niro needs to go in the blue tent.
And the worst part, De Niro still acts like he's untouchable because he once played the tough guy. But these days, he can sound more like the uncle who starts every sentence with, "Back in my day." Back then, Robert was cool, mysterious, and intimidating. Now he's become the political version of an angry dad joke. Rogan says what many viewers are thinking, while Megyn Kelly gives that look that says, "Finally, someone said it." De Niro can keep ranting, but Rogan and Kelly provide a reality check. And when a fight commentator and podcast host sounds more reasonable than an Oscar-winning legend, you have to wonder what kind of simulation we're living in.